noticed that Flau'Jae will be on America's Got Talent tonight. Part of her show or part of her performance will be her rapping or performing this rap about how gun violence really affect her life, as far as, you know, her father not being here, Camoflauge. If you haven't seen the video about Camoflauge, I mean, link is in the description box. I put those two videos about Camoflauge in the link in the description. And basically, she made a rap about that and how the guns is affecting the millennials and the newer generation that's about to come. And first, you know, before I start my whole speech, I just want to say this video is not to disrespect Flau'Jae. I love what she's doing in Savannah. You know, her father's legacy. I mean, what she's doing, what she's capable of doing in the near future. I respect what she's doing. But part of what she was saying was that, you know, the guns is really affecting the kids, you know, and part of that is that now in Georgia, in the county of Lawrence County, they decided to legalize teachers to have firearms. So a teacher, a janitor, I don't know about a substitute teacher, but pretty much anyone that has that teacher authority that's in the school, they can now be allowed to have firearms in this county. And I believe there's some other counties working on this as well. I think there's another county. I think they already established this. But and I mean, Lawrence County is pretty much, that's Dublin, Georgia. There's a few other country towns in there like Fannin, Georgia. Parents, you know, they decided that this would be the right thing to do, to arm the teachers inside the classrooms. Now, of course, the teachers won't just be thrown with a gun inside the classrooms. These are only for the teachers that want to be armed, and if they choose to do so, then they have to be trained even more as far as, you know, gun safety, how to properly place your firearm, you know, how to fire your firearm. And, you know, there are some pros with this and there are some cons with this. I guess I'll just say the negative, of course. The negative one.
And what if they miss and hit my child or another child, an innocent? They're going to get sued.
And you know what? She's pretty right. What if he or she does miss and hit a kid and that kid dies? You know, that is a real deep situation that I don't think a teacher would want to be in, because a lot of teachers, they sign up to be teachers, not to shoot kids or whoever comes into a school. Like, a lot of them don't sign up for that. And, you know, it's a lot of safety risk, especially if the teacher, for example, leaves their gun behind and it's in a classroom and somebody picks it up, and what happens from there, you know? So there's a lot of safety issues with that, especially if a gun discharges on accident. You gotta think about that as well. You know, and especially you just don't want it in the wrong hands, because in this generation there are a lot of school shooters, and that's the thing that I believe, like, a lot of the older generations aren't really understanding, because, you know, they didn't have to go to school with school shooters like that. I mean, you probably had people that was every now and then like shooting up schools, but not to the point of where it's at now, and, you know, in this generation in 2018, because, you know, we just had earlier this year in February the 14th, we had a shooting in Parkland, Florida, that killed 17. And, you know, they had another shooting just 2 weeks ago in Santa Fe that killed over a dozen, you know. And it's a lot of the, like, previous generations wouldn't even have to worry about something like this, and it's something that is catching on to a lot more people now, that a lot of people have to be armed in schools. Am I support of this? Yes, but only for the teachers that could really arm themselves in classrooms properly, and that make sure that teacher has the right mind frame to even own a gun. Because what if that teacher snaps too? You know, that's another negative. What if that teacher snaps and a student try to fight a teacher? You know, that happens plenty of times in Chatham County schools, where a student will try to fight a teacher. I mean, I've seen that plenty of times growing up, going to high school, even going to middle school. And then when I even thought about Flau'Jae even being on America's Got Talent, I just figured to myself, why would she even want to be on this TV show? Because she already has a name established for herself. She's been on the Rap Game. She also had her name was coming up even before the Rap Game, and now that after the Rap Game that she was on that show, she's got more fame, more notoriety. She's been doing a little bit more shows. I mean, she's doing numbers on YouTube. Pretty much her name been more relevant than any other people on the Rap Game after the show, because, man, I've been hearing about her on a lot of places, doing radio interviews and this, that, and the third. So when I seen that she would be on this, I was like, I don't know what would be the purpose of her being on here, I mean, I get the purpose, you win $1 million and you'll go to, I believe, Las Vegas to headline a show. But, that's 25 episodes long, I believe. But, I was like, I don't understand why would she do something like this. But then I kind of really had to understand and try to put myself in her position, or maybe not even her position, but in one of these kids who fathers, mothers, family members, brothers, sisters, they might get gunned down. And, I never really lost somebody like that, the gun violence. Well, I mean, I have, it didn't really touch me to the point where I would say no guns, put all the guns down, because you got a lot of crazy people out here, and especially there's more crazy people in the city of Savannah. I'm not telling people to go buy a gun, but just protect yourself at all times, man, because in these days, there are a lot of crazy, ill, sick people that will do anything to you, and you'll see that in the news. You've seen that with all these school shootings. And I mean, I hate to say it, but there's going to be plenty more until they have some type of response to this, or some type of permanent fixing of this. I mean, we've seen it with the Savannah State shooting 2 times. And, it's a real tough situation, because, everybody wants to send their child to school safe. Nobody wants to have their child in a school where they might be a potential threat, where they might be gunned down just because of how another kid feels, or might just not even be a kid. It might be an adult that runs in there. So at the same time, there's a lot of issues that goes with this, man. Being a teacher, if something like a threat like this does happen, your aim has to be right, and you have to be well prepared. But the thing is this: if you're going to arm these teachers with like magnums and Berettas, I mean, you pretty much out of luck, because what these school shooters are bringing into the schools are like AR-15s. Pretty much that's the common gun of choice if you're going to shoot up a school for some reason, is an AR-15. I mean, AR-15s are light, but I'm not trying to promote gun violence or anything, but I mean, I prefer a heavier assault rifle than a AR-15. I mean, anybody will tell you that if you use an AR-15 in a combat fight, I mean, you'll lose. But I mean, it's a good thing to shoot something up with. So if you're talking about arming these teachers with an attacker that has something of an AR-15 type rifle, or something greater than that caliber of a gun, you're talking about arming these teachers with a assault rifle, not just a simple pistol or a .45 caliber handgun. You're talking about arming these teachers of a submachine gun or a assault rifle style gun. And I don't think that would be practical to just carry around. I mean, that would just have to be a gun that you would have to just keep stationary. I mean, you could arm a teacher with a pistol, on the side, but I'm pretty sure that leads to different arguments, because I mean, anybody that shows up to a gun battle fighting an AR-15 with a Magnum, you're gonna lose. But I mean, any other information about this, I'll let you know as well, especially if Chatham County decides to do this. But I just want to kind of link it to what Camoflauge daughter was saying, Flau'Jae.